welcome back to the Loading Up podcast. I am your host, Producer Jay, and I am here with my co-host, Brother Zay.
Yo.
And he's back, my other co-host, Brother Tay. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. He really wasn't lying when he said he's going to talk what he really feels like. That shit called me off.
Yeah. I do the countdown internally. Unless you would like me to do the countdown out loud so you're prepared. I told you. I asked you if you were ready, and you said, why are you asking me if I'm ready?
I didn't say that. I said no. I literally said no.
He really did say no. Well, either way.
I lied. I never lied to you.
You're right. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that if you could like this video, if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel, because that would help us out with the YouTube algorithm and such. And if you're listening on a podcast app, please rate us and share with your friends, because we want everybody to listen to our opinions, because only our opinions matter, okay?
Oh, someone's gone.
Okay.
I didn't agree to that one. I didn't agree to that one.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think you was.
So yeah, the last episode that we recorded, I'm pretty sure it was the one that we did the tier list.
Yep.
Which was 3 hours long. I did not intend for it to be that long.
3 hours?
It was
Jesus Christ, yeah.
We kind of got out of hand. But yeah, so we ended up doing.
I listened to the whole thing. It was really good.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm glad we powered through it. It was a bitch to edit. But anyway, so yeah, since then a lot has changed. But before we get into that, what you guys been playing? Brother Zay, you want to start? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll start. I beat Sea of Stars, which thank you. It took a lot longer. The game is actually a lot longer than I thought it was. I don't know for whatever reason why I thought it was shorter, but it was a long game. It was very good.
Like really, classic RPG games too.
Yeah, but it's on the indie level, but it was really good. Love the story. I've also been playing Hell Let Loose since it released on Game Pass, and that game, oh my god, is a PTSD simulator. It's a PTSD simulator. Hell Let Loose is a war game, but it's a war game and it's like you're actually there, okay? There's no HUD, there's no nothing. They don't tell you how to play. You just get out there and pray that you know what you're doing. You're running.
Okay, I got it. You really on your own.
You're really on your own. You're running out there for miles with your little squad. Next thing you know, you're gunned down or a bomb drops on you. You're like, where did they even come from? It really is PTS-inducing, but it is a lot of fun.
It's a multiplayer game?
Yeah. It's like a mixture of old Call of Duty and old Battlefield. You know, like big open maps. You have to like capture points. You have teams that are specialties. You know, you have engineers that will work on, all your tanks. You have commanders who will put, spawn points. You have snipers. You have marksmen, and you have all these other people trying to just get to the other side. The problem is they don't tell you how to play.
Naturally.
They toss you. I mean, you could do the training, and I did the training, but even then, the training is like it doesn't prepare you for the amounts of people who've been playing this game since it came out, who are the pros, and they are just mowing us down.
It never does.
Yeah.
Always.
Damn. Maybe I shouldn't play that game then.
I found my class that I really liked though. I'm a machine gunner, and I ended up flanking one position and getting like 10 kills in a row before they finally found where I was, laying in the grass just behind their spawn point, just mowing them down. Yeah, it was so epic, and I was like, I'm gonna be playing the machine gunner every single time now.
Before he knew it, he was getting gunned down.
Exactly. It was fun though. I mean, it is PTSD inducing. Don't recommend anybody who's
I was gonna say, like, are you trying to sell people on this game or not? Because that doesn't sound like something.
No,
he's like,
you're gonna try it out. You know what it is? You gotta try it out for yourself so you can see what I'm talking about.
If you never been in real war, you can play this game. If you went
There
to
you
war
go.
overseas, I suggest you
don't play
this.
this game if you've been to actual war.
That's what he's trying
That's
to say.
fair.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, brother Tay, what have you been playing?
Since I landed, nothing really. I bought Lethal Company, so you know,
Nice.
about to be on the adventures of being stupidity.
I've heard so much about that guy. It's like it's one of those like I don't know, these random indie games just pop up out of nowhere and then they're just like cult hits and you see them everywhere, everybody's playing them.
To me personally, it looked like Phasmophobia just with more monsters.
Yeah.
And I thought Phasmophobia looked really fun already. So,
I can't wait till the console version of that one because I wanted to play it, but I can't play it on my PC. Like I need to be like immersed because the way like I have my setup is like I can't really get into a game on my PC, like unless I'm like recording or
no, I get
like
you.
live streaming or whatever. But like just playing just in the dark or whatever because I feel like that's the kind of game you want to play alone, not alone, but like in the dark with other people.
With holding my healers, praying that they don't get me.
Anything else? Just or you just?
No, other than that, like I said, I kind of just landed, so I'm still kind of.
You're right. Yeah,
getting back together.
You're recovering from your jet lag, still.
So yeah, I'm also still recovering from the cold. So.
That's right.
Just greatness all around.
Yeah. So I've been a busy bee. I've been playing a bunch of random stuff. I recently I mentioned or did I mention? I got the Asus ROG Ally.
You did mention.
I did mention that. So I've been basically setting it up as my like portable, like quick, smaller game type, except for Starfield. Starfield is like the only big game that I install on that because I know I'm gonna be playing that eventually. Or I'm gonna be going that like regularly. I played Venba. I know we talked about it like recently when we were talking about the Game Awards stuff.
Yeah,
I think did that one win for like cultural impact or something like that?
I believe it did.
Was that the one with like they're kind of cooking?
Yeah, it's like a cooking game, but the story is actually very deep. Like I thought
I told you it was.
Yeah, it's very like it hooks you and it's like it gets to you too because especially like if you're a minority, which I am, like a lot of the stuff like it hits you in a different way than you would if you like you never had to go through that stuff. And honestly, it also hit me as a parent because I won't spoil it for anybody who wants to play it, but like there's certain stuff that happens in the game that like I fear in real life as a parent like kids growing up and stuff like that. So it's a very like fun, small, quick game that I was able to play, and it's like that's one of the games that is like perfect for like a portable, like if you had a Switch or in my case the Asus. I also, because they were giving out games on the Epic Game Store for the past, I think, like few weeks, starting in the new year. I got, was it Ghost Runner? Because they gave that away.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of that. It's very interesting. Like it's one of those like you have to keep moving, and then like it's like one shot you die, but it's like it's more of a puzzle game. It's like a puzzle first person shooter, but it's not a shooter. Like you have a sword. So at least when I played it, I don't know. Maybe you get a gun later on, but that's an interesting game. And
did you just miss the gun? Like, what do you mean?
No. I didn't play it for that long. I haven't played it that much.
Sorry, what do you mean?
No, I was basically just setting it up like the Asus ROG Ally, downloading a bunch of games and trying to see like what games I'm gonna dedicate to just playing when I'm like on that, because when I'm home I wanna actually. So I just started because I mentioned before that I was playing the Metal Gear Solid collection. I just started Metal Gear Solid 2, and I'm very intimidated because I decided early on that I wanted to get all the achievements in the game because I never did that before. and I looked at the achievement,
So you
and
decided that you no longer want to have a regular life. Gotcha.
pretty much
Job.
like the amount of like stuff that I have to do, and because so the hardest one is like you have to complete the game and get like the big boss ranking, which means you have to clear the game without killing anybody. You only get 8 saves, and you have to play on the extreme difficulty. I think you have to get no alerts, and it's a lot, and you have to do it within like I think like 5 hours or something like that, or maybe like 4. But it's insane, and I'm just like, how the hell am I gonna do this? So why did I decide that I wanted to do this?
That's a
Like,
big
really-
no for me.
Because you wanted this.
So I wouldn't care. I would just be like, I'm just play the game for fun. But I've mentioned before, this is one of my favorite franchises, and I feel like I have to do it. Like I did it for Mass Effect. I got all the achievements in that in the Legendary Edition. So I feel like I owe it to myself as a fan of the series that I have to do it. I'm gonna do the same thing eventually. I don't know when. Probably like when I'm in my freaking 40s. I'm gonna do it for Kingdom Hearts because I have to get. I know. I trust me. I'm already. I once I'm retired, maybe I'll do it.
Crazy.
Because that's when I'll have enough time.
Man said another 35 years.
Hey, listen,
Roger,
we'll probably be on Kingdom Hearts 3.8, the Director's Cut Edition HD. I don't know.
Kingdom Hearts, the Key Kingdom Blade of Life. I'm like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
it's just whatever random name they decide to throw in it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've just been basically catching up and like planning out because I moved on. I feel like I mentioned I moved on to Pokemon Violet, and that's the last Pokemon game that I have. Well, that's the last Pokemon game that's out with new Pokemon in it, and it's so different.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's hard to get into. Like, there's elements to it that I like that I can get into, but it's so hard to like adapt from playing Legends Arceus or Arceus, however you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I gotta do that. It's a lot on my plate. So
Take your time. Take your time.
If I take my time, I'll never finish.
Yes, we have
be
more
wor-
jokes. We have more jokes for that. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to avoid that. Anywho, I guess we could get started with the news because we got a lot of that.
We do have a lot of news to talk about. So I mean, we're gonna start off really bad, just the way 2024 started off. Apparently, really bad for a lot of people. It's literally been 11 days, and the industry is just keeping up with the same track record of just laying off people. Twitch decided to cut 35% of its staff. Over 500 people had just lost their jobs, and that's on top of the 400 that they cut last year. So now we're nearly 1,000 people out of work at Twitch. And Twitch is owned and run by Amazon. You would think, like some of the richest people in the world, they run this company. You would think they would at least keep these people's jobs around, but it just doesn't work that way, apparently.
Yeah.
And so now 500 people are without a job. They call it Dan Clancy, the CEO, stated that they were trying to do it to keep the business strong. And I don't understand the CEO talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we have to cut jobs to keep the business strong. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
It's okay. I too like to lie to people's face. It's understandable.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
apparently, Twitch has not been profitable yet. I remember I just heard that today, that apparently he did like an interview and he said that Twitch is not profitable. That Amazon still remains like in support of the platform and stuff like that. But it's like, how after this long you haven't found a way to make it so that way the platform can give money or bring in money to the point where you don't have to lay off people? It's like, how long has Twitch been around?
Well,
It's been like at
years
least
now.
10 years. No,
Yeah,
more than that.
At least No, it's been past a decade.
Yeah, because before Twitch, it was called, what was it, like Justin TV or something like that?
I think so.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because it's been around for a long time, as long as I can remember. Because I remember it was probably around a little bit after. Okay, June 6th, 2011. So yeah, so over 10 years, it's been a thing, and as Twitch before it was Justin TV. So it's like, how do you not figure out a proper monetization at this point? And it's like, it feels like they don't know what they want to do, or they don't know what they want to be, because they're constantly changing the guidelines and their rules and all this stuff. And it's like, you pick a lane, like stick to something and build upon that.
They're laying off people, not just on Twitch, because even their games division, there was like 200 people laid off. It just doesn't make sense to me. How can you run the biggest company in the world, one of the biggest, and the CEO, one of the richest men in the world, who has money hand over fist? How can you say it's not profitable? Maybe don't buy a super mega yacht 1 year. You already have 10 of them. Don't buy one. You know what I'm saying?
That's
then
the thing.
maybe you could be profitable.
But I want the other yacht too, though.
Yeah,
it's a stark contrast to, like, for example, like a company like Nintendo. Like, you never really hear about like layoffs in Nintendo. I believe like the last like bad year that Nintendo had, the CEOs and the executives, they all took a pay cut.
They took a pay cut,
in order for the company to keep going.
Yeah, so
I
feel like you can lose a job.
Yeah,
that's
just
something you won't
unheard
ever
of.
hear from Americans. From an American thing, now they'd rather cut people than lose a pay cut. It's a lot different. I don't know.
They're just cutthroat like that, and it sucks.
Yeah, and it's not just Amazon. Unity, lost, I think it was 1,800 jobs.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. And from what I'm reading, they're planning to do more.
Yeah, it's
this year, so it's absolutely just.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like once we heard about once we found out that the plan was for that whole monetization scheme that they were trying to pull off, the retroactive thing where charging people.
Yeah, charging the developers, yeah.
Yeah, that I feel like that was kind of like a last-ditch effort to kind of like save the company from doing that. But that was like the worst idea ever. So it's like you couldn't come up with anything else. But so like this was the second best idea apparently to them.
Absolutely sad.
Yeah, it just sucks that people are starting the new year jobless essentially, and it's like, it wasn't like before Christmas, but this is also a hard time of the year, especially like income taxes and stuff like that. It's like this is not the time to start the year off without a job. Like, I don't know. I mean, hopefully things turn around. I mean, we've been talking about layoffs this whole year, and it's hard to talk about at this point. Like, what else can we say? Like, it just sucks.
It does, and that's why we'll report on it, and we are, keeping in our thoughts of all the people who lost their job. But it just, there's not much more we can do. Hopefully that for a future reference, they learn, they unionize, so just things don't happen.
Yes.
You gotta be strong together, because if not, you fail all together. That's it.
Yeah.
You gotta stand with each other, so that way you can fight against these mega corporations who would literally drop you for nothing.
All to buy a freaking, like you said, a new yacht.
Yeah.
Yacht, helicopter, just anything that will make them increase their look, make them look better on paper. Not even on paper, just look better in people's eyes.
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even in general, just look better in people's eyes. Someone cares if you have a yacht. Just other people. There's other rich people.
All right, on to the next, because we don't want to be depressed this whole podcast.
Yeah.
We have update with SAG-AFTRA, and during the CES 2024, SAG-AFTRA announced an agreement for AI voice technology to be used in video games and voice acting. I have not read the agreement. I don't even know if it's fully public yet. If we
Apparently,
just
the members haven't read the agreement, because I remember hearing
crazy.
a lot of people that they were just like, I didn't agree to this.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane. I guess it's just more corporate people signing off on just whatever so they can get through with whatever deals and publishing licensing for games and voice actors. It's absolutely insane though. And they even showed off, because I saw a video on Twitter where they use AI voice acting, and it was terrible. It just wasn't that good. There's no emotion in it, you know? No. Yeah, whenever if voice acting for video games goes the way of AI, we're never gonna have those these actors come on stage at a Game Awards who put on an amazing performance, like Christopher Judge did with God of War, or like, oh man, I forget his name, from Baldur's Gate 3 with Asterion. These people are made the game what it is with their performance, with their emotions. You're never gonna have that with AI.
Yeah,
you will completely change the whole landscape of video games if you do this way. And I hope that they stand up and fight against broad use of AI within their industry.
I think it's gonna be, obviously we know the usual suspects that are gonna jump on this. It's gonna be the EA. It's gonna be Take-Two. Gonna be, well, I would have said Activision, but maybe not anymore. It's gonna be those big studios that are gonna dabble in it. They're gonna try it out, see how it goes and stuff like that, and they're gonna wait for the public reaction to see like if this is something worth pursuing. I think the majority though are gonna not like rely on this, because all right, so I've seen I don't know if you've like seen these videos of like these Skyrim mods where basically it's like an AI generated conversation tree.
Oh yeah.
Where basically you could talk to any NPC and they'll about anything, and then they'll give you like a response, like a good response that is based off of what you've done and what's going on in the world and stuff like that. Like that type of stuff is actually really cool.
But it's also not taking away from the voice actor.
Right.
That's just using AI so that way they can have an actual conversation, but there was still a human that voiced that.
And I think this deal, I guess, was in an essence to try and like capitalize on that, because these AI things, like the generative voices, like using the AI models of people's voices, like it's gonna happen. It's happening already. Like I just recently I saw a freaking YouTube video of a guy, a comedian, who basically recreated a George Carlin stand-up special, like a brand new one. Yeah. And it was like a whole hour long, and he used his voice to like to make it. And it was just like, it was very weird. And I watched a little bit of it and I had to stop because I was like, this is weird. Like, the guy is dead. Come on, like, why are you doing this? And so it's gonna happen. Like, the people are doing it already, but I feel like now, if you're gonna do it in a commercial sense, with this deal, at least from what I understand, the actors who you replicate, if it's in like a video game or whatever, they will get paid and they will get credit for whatever is used. So instead of let's say if I wanted freaking, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. in the next Mass Effect game, like, he would still get paid for that, even if somebody used an AI voice generator to mimic his voice and put him in the game. He would get credit in the credits, and he would get paid for it.
Obviously, him actually be there.
I would too. I won't
lie to you. I feel like the idea, because we're only keeping it to actors, I feel like it's going to go a little too insane.
Oh yeah,
because
it's for sure.
It is.
Because I feel like we should. It's shouldn't only. I feel like you just did a whole thing about George Carlin. What's stopping people from like doing nonsense when they're making like Malcolm X do commercials?
Yeah.
You see what I
Yeah.
And then that's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how that would.
Like that's what he's trying to say. That's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It all is. It all is. And where does it end? You know.
And when it comes to, unfortunately, when it comes to people, and we're saying to someone who did it for free, I guarantee you, someone in this business is like, you know who would represent this very well, Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm like, no,
Oh my
no,
God.
it wouldn't. It's like, why don't we get Princess Diana to say something about this? Because she was using it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's right now. I mean, I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it like on a podcast, but like we're in the wild west of the AI stuff, and these companies are gonna do what they can, as much as they can, that they can get away with, and eventually it's gonna come to a lawsuit, or I mean, it's already. I think. Well, I don't know about like the voice AI and stuff, but I think is it the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times? One of those publications, like those like really credited publications. They're suing what is it called? Is it OpenAI?
It might be.
Yeah.
They're suing OpenAI for basically stealing their stuff, like their work, in order to generate those responses that you see in like ChatGPT and stuff like that. Because essentially, like it's essentially plagiarism. If you ask like what is a Wall Street Journal article about such and such, it'll take from that article and give you something based on what it was said. So, but like that's someone else's work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, I think it's in court. We'll see how much comes from it, and if more lawsuits like this start happening, because honestly, that's what's at the core is gonna be able to shape what can and can't be done with AI.
It probably needs that. It probably needs to happen now. Now that I've said all that nonsense, it probably does need to happen.
No, it's gonna happen, and honestly, like I want it to happen because there's too many stuff. Like I've seen so many instances of like music being done and like art being generated and stuff like that, and it's just like there's no way that this can just let loose like this, you know? It's crazy how much you can get away with like these AI models and stuff like that. It's cool, but it's also worrying at the same time from a professional standpoint.
As a music thing, that's always been a thing, because like I remember like when it first started happening, there were rappers and stuff being like, you can't generate me with AI, I'm too different. That was like a whole thing. That's like one of the things like Kendrick Lamar really bragged about in one of his songs, but also was a warning like this AI shit will get out of hand.
Yeah, I mean we'll see how this plays out, but I mean we have to assume. I mean, even though the members of the SAG-AFTRA union didn't necessarily sign up for this, you have to assume that they do have their members in mind when they sign deals like this. So I guess
we'll just have to see.
We'll just have to see. I feel like regardless, these companies are gonna push as far as they can go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't trust. I don't trust a lot of unions anymore.
There's a lot of like pros and cons to unions, but I mean we're not gonna get into that right now.
I mean, true.
We'll get some better news. We'll get into.
Trying to say my news ain't good.
No, because I feel like it's just been 2024 started off crazy. It's just been sad, depressing news, or crazy, or absolutely insane news. So
mostly insane news.
Yeah, mostly insane news. Yeah,
it's probably better to get this out of the way now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for the first time, I think since 87, I'm not exactly sure on the years. Tetris was beaten by a human. A 13-year-old Willis Gibson of Oklahoma became the first person to actually beat Tetris. It took him only 39 minutes, which is absolutely insane.
That is
39
eyes
minutes for a
must-
13-year-old to beat
His
a
eyes
game.
must have been on fire. As
There's
long as
actually a video
long
you can actually watch him beat it. It's
I
it's
don't
pretty cool.
want to.
it's weird because like these old games were not meant to be beaten, especially like a game like Tetris. So essentially, the way you beat it is if you just break the game. So it's like it literally it just stops working, and that's how you know you beat it.
Yeah, it's sort of like that kill screen, you know.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what it is. They maxed the score out. It was like 99999 score all the way up, and it just broke the game.
Like I'm happy.
Which is absolutely insane. But by the way, when this broke out, I was watching the Tetris movie. Tetris movie is on Apple TV.
Oh, that's right.
And
the Tetris movie?
How is it?
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I mean, I know some parts were dramatized for a movie, but I was reading up on the actual what things actually happened after I saw the movie, and the movie was really good, and I really liked it. And then this news came out about this kid beating Tetris, and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it because Taron Egerton is in it. And I like him.
Yes, yeah, he does good. He does a good job. You should watch it. Definitely give it a watch if you're a fan of video games, history in general. When it comes to video game history, it's a good watch. So yeah, so props to Willis Gibson of Oklahoma for beating Tetris.
I will say
he will be forever immortalized in the gaming industry now.
I will say, I mean, I don't mean to be this vulgar to anybody, but fuck that news anchor that tried to shit on this guy's parade, saying that, oh, this is not a real accomplishment. You should probably go outside. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
We were
like,
also
no,
talking,
let somebody have something for a change.
we were talking
Like, what
about
have you
that
done with
earlier
your
as
life?
well. We were talking about that earlier before the recording.
Yeah, it pissed me off because it's like, yo, you can't let this kid have something.
No.
Like he poured his like life into this, and he accomplished something nobody else has. Like, why would you you're jealous or something? Like, yo,
Yes.
So not even the creator, the original creator of Tetris, who created the game in Russia. Not even him. He beat the game. Okay,
It's
the
called
creator
hating.
of it. He's the first person to ever do it.
It's
and
called
he
hating.
deserves the praise, deserves the accolades.
you know what's funny too? Because like
this.
I was when I heard this, I was like, really? I could have sworn that it was beaten before.
Me too.
It
I
was
also
by
thought it
AI.
was.
Like a computer beat it.
Oh no! I thought a regular player beat it before. As
No,
well.
No, you know what I was thinking of? I think I was thinking of freaking Pac-Man.
Oh, I know Pac-Man and like Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, yeah.
Those have been beaten by people, but Tetris never has. Not by people.
The people.
But yeah, props to the kid. That's a major accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Well.
And all right, we'll just continue on. So this is we're gonna go do rumors. So
rumors.
it was
Rumor
leaked
has it.
by Game Shark, of all people. Game Shark accidentally leaked that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be releasing September 24th, 2024. So this September. Now, it said that the people who own Game Shark, the company, said that it was supposed to be the new sort of Game Shark successor, the AI successor, is supposed to be releasing coincide with the Nintendo Switch 2, which is why they sort of accidentally leaked that the Switch 2 is coming out at the same time. So this is just a rumor from the company. I personally don't know how true this is, but it is stated that the Switch 2 is supposed to come out in the fall, and September is in the fall, so it's setting to be Switch 2 in September.
I mean,
honestly,
it's just around that, but
yeah.
Right.
Honestly, like, so along with this rumor, there was like, apparently like specs of the Switch 2 that leaked as well, and it said It's gonna have like, I think it's like 8 GB of RAM. It's gonna run on Nvidia's new mobile GPU. It was basically gonna be as powerful as a PS4, like a base PS4. And I started looking at it, and I'm like, is this really worth upgrading to? Like, maybe if your only console or your main console is the Switch, it might be a big upgrade for you. But honestly, like, I can't see myself like wanting to get one. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I have the Asus ROG Ally that I'm just like, I'm like freaking snobby, like soft. What is this? What specs are these? PS4? Like, I get freaking Xbox Series X and PS5 graphics and stuff like that. But
to go backwards? I think not.
But that, I mean, that's also
Exactly.
the thing too. Yeah, that's also the thing too. Because like I mean, people joke. I don't know how serious they are, but like people joke about like the Series S. Oh, it's holding gaming back because they have to release it on the lowest specs and then whatever. But I mean, developers have been developing for PC for a long time. They know how to spec things properly for like low end GPUs and stuff like that. So speccing for a lower powered console is not a big deal. But basically, if a game can run on the Switch too, there's no reason for it not to come to the PS4 and Xbox One. Like, I feel like that might be the excuse.
Here's the thing. I get what you're coming at, but I think you need to understand. You have never bought a Nintendo console because you like the way the graphics. Let's be honest.
That is true. That is very true.
None of us
And the
care
people
about
who
what
just have a Switch. They don't care about like the power. They don't care.
Yeah.
Most of them are just casuals, you know, who are playing the Switch. That's it.
You're
Not even
right.
that. Just remember Nintendo sells most of their consoles because of the games that are out for that console.
Yes. No, you're right. The games do sell the console. Like,
Yeah,
that's basically why it's selling so well, because literally, like, not every, but like majority of Switch owners own Nintendo games. Like, they own Mario Karts, the Mario parties and all of that. The worst, I saw this metric and it blew my mind. So, the worst Mario Party game, which was, I think, Mario Party...
It should be 7.
No. It was the first one for the Switch. It wasn't Superstar.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Oh, that was
Yeah.
wasn't that 8? Because they were all in one thing.
I don't remember.
I think
But
it was.
the first one for the Switch, the first Mario Party for the Switch,
Yeah.
sold more than God of War Ragnarok. Can you believe that? Like, that's how good the
Yes, I
Switch
can.
is at selling their games.
Exactly.
That's because PlayStation players play Twitter, not games.
Well, that's a whole nother story. But anyway,
I want you to always remember this. It does not matter. That, like, we can bring up all these specs and stuff when it comes to Nintendo stuff, but we all know when Nintendo goes to sell out, the only thing people are going to care about is like what game is coming out. Because when they release it, most likely you're going to see a new Legend of Zelda. Most likely, again, you're going to. In people's hopes, they might see a new Metroid. Like, you have no one really. They only care about one thing. Yeah.
You're right. They do care about the games itself. However, there are instances, and for example, I know firsthand because I'm playing it right now, of games that are performing not so good, like from a gameplay perspective. So, example, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that is not really running well on the Switch hardware.
It's not at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of like lag, slowdown,
Frame drops are crazy.
Frame drops, and the graphics. I mean, the graphics are okay, but like the environments are very bland, and it's like they cut corners. Now, granted, you could say, oh, that's just a Game Freak thing or whatever, but they made Legends Arceus. Like, that game looked great and it ran great, so it's like there's no excuse. But that could be attributed to the weak, quote-unquote weak, hardware that the Switch has. And I know a lot of people were just like, I mean, granted, they kind of look past it, but with the recent Legend of Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, it was 30 frames per second, and it there was slowdowns for that game too. Like it dropped frames a lot, but because the game was so fun, it kind of like overcame
it.
that. Yeah. So
There's
I think
something-
you.
I mean, if you're a fan of the game, then yes. But
it's something I can't. There's something about Nintendo games that no matter what it is, people will buy. People will going to buy it. I don't know why.
they overlook the power aspect, and that's great.
They really do.
But I feel like the developers would benefit from a little bit extra power. But yeah, Nintendo hasn't really been known for power anyway. I mean, they tried it with the Wii U. The Wii U was technically more powerful than the PS3 and 360, but that didn't matter because it sold like shit. But
Because it had no good.
it had no
I feel
games.
like it had nothing good for it.
Well, I won't
That's
say it had
why.
no games. It had a lot of great games on it, but nobody
But-
bought the thing. Because,
Yeah.
like, why do you think they're porting all those games to the Switch now? Friggin' Super Mario Brothers or New Super Mario Brothers U, the Mario 3D World, like all those games are on the Switch or on the Wii U that got ported to the Switch
It was-
because nobody bought the Wii U.
I always feel like the Wii. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I think I said this to you, but I think Nintendo has bad even numbers when it comes to consoles because always their odd numbers are one of the best sellers of all time. Except like, because if you're I'm only counting the 64 from one. So I'm not gonna count the so. I feel like because it's like Nintendo 64 was the highest seller, GameCube didn't sell that well.
Yeah.
Then the Wii came out, that was an all-time seller.
That sold
Wii U was
crazy.
ass. And then the Switch came out, that was an all-time seller.
Yeah, it was.
And
It
there's a
literally
chance
started.
Wii U-
Yeah,
the-
that trend started with the N64 because I believe the NES and the SNES both were successful. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with the N64
Oh,
that they
That means
decided
this,
to.
the Switch 2 is gonna be ass.
Well, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I said this, I was like, there's a chance the Switch 2 may not sell great. And then when they come out with the next console, you'll be like, I'm buying that one.
The only way well, I don't want to say the only way, but the best way if they want it to sell is if they just stop selling the Switch like altogether and just sell the Switch 2. But I don't know how feasible that is. It really just depends on if the game is or if the console is backwards compatible, honestly. Like that's what's going to matter. If they could pull, I mean, granted they've been better with the backwards compatibility stuff. But they could pull the rug out from everybody and just be like, no, Switch 2 games are only for Switch 2. You can't play your Switch games on Switch 2.
I cut it.
I would be upset, but I say that, but then the Nintendo fanboys, they will complain, but they will eat that shit up. It don't matter because they buy Nintendo stuff. They don't care. They'll complain all day, but then they'll be the first in line to buy this thing. So
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I told you. Something about Nintendo stuff. People just buy it. I mean, like,
it's
I'm all for
nostalgia
it.
at this point, honestly.
Yeah. It pretty much might be, but people will buy it.
But we'll see if this release date is true.
Yeah.
If it is, we'll probably get an announcement within the next couple months.
Yeah, for sure. And on to more rumors. And the rumor mill this past week has been crazy because the new rumor is that Xbox is going third party and all the games like Hi-Fi Rush and Gears and Halo are coming to other platforms. And it's been absolutely insane on social media where people think now all these games are just coming to Nintendo and PlayStation. And it's not happening, folks.
Yeah, it started with this rumor from this guy that I never even heard from before. It was from a Reset Era. Go figure.
Oh, God.
This guy said that he heard that Xbox was readying their some back catalog game for other rival platforms, and that the first one was going to be it was a Game of the Year contender and it's gonna make people happy and stuff like. But the thing is, like, he was vague enough that you could interpret it as anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people interpreted as Xbox is going to release games on PlayStation. Like, that was the first thing people went to. And people thought, oh, like, it's going to be Sea of Thieves, it's going to be Hi-Fi Rush, it's going to be Halo, like Halo on PS5, like crazy. Like, people just going wild with their predictions and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Halo on PS5 would have been wild, though.
The reason why it went wild is because PlayStation right now is suffering a drought. Spider-Man 2 came out.
Yeah.
And it came out and left. Didn't win any awards. Nobody even talking about it. And then now they have nothing. They're still waiting for a Final Fantasy VII remake.
And
Part
Helldivers.
2. And then
Helldivers.
Let's not get into that one. They don't have anything. So the thought of getting Halo and Hi-Fi Rush, these top tier multiplayer games that Sony doesn't normally have on their platform, it's like, oh yeah, they need to get that. And so the rumors just went crazy. You know, like Sea of Thieves, really? It doesn't need to be on any other platform. It has like 133 million players.
Yeah, it's already successful.
It's already successful. It's already on other platforms because it's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on your TV, it's on your tablet, wherever you can get Game Pass. It's already there.
It is.
It doesn't need this whole notion that Xbox needs to survive and sell more games and bring it to other platforms is absolutely ridiculous because it already releases on Xbox, already releases on Game Pass, on PC. On your TV, your tablet, you could play it on your phone for crying out loud. They don't need to port their games to anywhere to be successful. If Xbox wasn't successful with their games, they wouldn't be coming out with more games and more exclusives.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the main thing that bothered me about this whole rumor or whatever, it was, and this is, all right, I'm gonna just be honest, like, it's no secret that I prefer Xbox as my platform of choice.
Xbox.
Really? Couldn't tell.
I could release the DMs, all right?
Oh, dang. Don't do that.
No, so, yeah, I like Xbox. I like PlayStation. I like Nintendo. I play some games on PC. And so, like, I'm a versatile gamer. But one thing that bothered me so much and that I saw so, like, often when this was like running rampant, this rumor, was the amount of crying and doom and gloom from the Xbox community about, oh, how could they do this? Phil Spencer, he said that we were gonna get exclusives, and how they need to be transparent. They need to tell us straight up what is gonna, like, this is just a rumor. This is not anything confirmed. Nothing is like announced, nothing, and people are crying on Twitter about that Xbox needs to be upfront. They need to combat these rumors. Like Xbox owes them something. It's like, no, look at what they're doing, and judge them based on that. Stop judging them based on rumors that have no grounds and no basis, because that's what these are.
They owe me everything.
That's what you would think.
This line.
That's what you would think if you saw these people crying on Twitter about this stuff. And it's like, it got to a point where I was just like, yo, I love the Xbox community for the most part, but some of y'all can be freaking crybabies with this stuff. It's just like, even if there was some games that were being ported, realistically, it's not going to be a Halo. It's not going to be a Sea of Thieves. It's not going to be a Gears of War like these fanboys are trying to predict. No, it's probably, honestly, I mean, the rumor said that it was Hi-Fi Rush, but I don't even think that it's that. Honestly, I think it's freaking Psychonauts 2. I think that's going to be ported to Switch, because it said, the rumors, the guys, he said it was Game of the Year worthy. It was a Game of the Year contender in the year that it came out. That's what he said.
Psychonauts was Game of the Year.
Psychonauts was nominated for Game of the Year when it came out.
Psychonauts is already on other platforms, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was already on the PlayStation.
But technically, it is a first-party game. Like, if you load up Psychonauts 2, it says Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah.
So I think this person, whoever, what was his name? Nate the Great or whatever. I don't know.
Here's what his name is.
Yeah.
Gross.
I think he was trying to get
You
notoriety.
Nathan Drake
and
ass wannabe motherfuckers.
Facts.
he wanted to stir the pot, get people to notice his name, and he got exactly that, and it worked. And because for as great as the community can be, they're very gullible, and a lot of people are just running with it and assuming the worst. And for like 2 days on the weekend, they were crying about like how Xbox is not being transparent enough and this and that. And I mean, we'll talk about it.
Xbox,
And it literally-
could you break my heart like
Yeah,
this?
literally, you would think that they were freaking going through a breakup or some shit. Like
They got cheated.
that's how hard they were taking it.
They
But
got
then
cheated on by
the
Xbox.
second that
you don't understand their pain.
I don't understand. I guess I don't. But
You haven't been cheated on by Xbox. That's why.
that's what
Crazy.
that's what they felt like. They felt like they were being cheated on. But it was funny because they did all this freaking song and dance about how Xbox is not doing what they need to do. But then the second that Xbox announces that they're doing a developer direct like they did last year, it's all singing and praising. Oh, Xbox is back! Like, yeah, we got exclusives. Like, I can't wait. Like, it was just like it was such a 180 from what people were doing the day before, and it was just like, yo, really? Like
No.
that's
Running?
this how you roll? Like, oh man, it
Yes.
annoyed me so much.
Traitorous.
All of it,
the
like I
whore
said,
like the horror they are.
like I said in the DMs, all of it is cloud chasing bullshit. Unless it comes from an Xbox official account, Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, or Sarah Bond, it ain't true. Calm your tits, okay? Just play your games if you have them. Play your games, and stay off social media because you're nut jobs.
Pretty much. I just it was bothering me all freaking like I honestly
me too.
I wanted to do the podcast early just because I wanted to vent about it. It was so annoying, but I calmed myself down and I collected myself and I waited.
That was your calm? That's crazy.
That's my calm. It would have been a lot worse if we had done it like on Tuesday.
Is
Oh,
Tuesday a
man,
plan?
that's funny.
No, is Tuesday a plan?
Yeah, it was bad, but yeah. So I guess we could talk about the developer direct that got announced.
But do we
Yes.
have to at that point? I feel like that's a great way to end this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got
We got a few more things.
Yeah, we got a few more things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll quickly go over a couple things before we get into the developer direct. So Micro Center, one of the largest PC retail stores out there across the whole country, they're announcing a GPU trade-in program. The only caveat is that the GPU you trade in, you have to have originally brought from Micro Center. But this is really good. They're gonna be able to take your GPU, test it out, make sure it's all functioning and running, and then trade it in for store credit so you can get a new GPU. This is really good for both consumers and pricing, as well as for the environment. Who knows what people do with their old GPUs, where they throw it away, how they recycle it, if they even do it.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I threw
yeah.
mine away. Oops.
Oh my God.
There's your,
Yeah, you know,
there's your
these
answer.
things can't just be tossed into the landfill, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Well, if
actually
you're-
really cool that they're doing that. I just wish
Especially
they would
if you're
expand the
producing
program to have GPUs that could be brought from anywhere. You know, that would be really cool. As long as it works, you know, if they
Now-
test it and it works and do
Yeah.
it.
Does this
Sorry.
apply to like pre-built?
I guess if you brought
Remember, you
it
have-
from Micro Center, why not?
Yeah, you have to, I feel like if you bought the things from there, I think you'll be
Yeah.
good. Like
Is
that's
it-
one.
isn't that what you did? You bought it from Micro Center, no? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, so then maybe you could ask.
I mean, there's no reason to trade in right
Well,
now.
yeah, I
Then
know you got
I got a
the
4070. I'm
yeah
good.
you got the top tier. So
I'm all right.
Show
So
off.
that was a cool little program that they decided to come out with.
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and quickly, MSI is the latest company to step into the mobile PC market, and they're coming out with what is dubbed the MSI Claw. It's an Intel-powered Windows competitor to the Steam Deck. You know, just like you said, you have the ROG Ally There's the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion Go, and now the MSI Claw. I don't know. I mean, there's so many of them now, and they're all so close together power-wise, and it's like, oh, this one has a better battery, but this one has, a better screen. It's like, how many more of these gonna come out?
Honestly, I think the more the merrier, because this is showing that there is a market for this, and the more
It's a
people
market for the claw.
for the claw. No, but it's true, because like if the more people or the more companies that are making these, the more people are going to be able to buy, because I know they're going to like price it differently and stuff like that. And I know the Steam Deck, I think the lowest you can get a Steam Deck, well, at least before the holidays, it was like
the claw,
$350 or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
saw
it
it on
was-
sale for $350, the lowest
Yeah,
one.
it was very affordable. So it's like the more these come out, the more they're gonna compete, and the better prices that we're gonna see as consumers. And I'm glad that mobile gaming is starting to pick up, because this is something that I've always wanted. And at the Switch, it was kind of like that stopgap. It's like, oh, you could, it's like a portable game console, but it was just for Nintendo games. But like, if you wanted to play other games, like you have to stream it through the cloud services and stuff. But now you have like a native console, portable console, that you can play these high-end games on. And it's like, it's only going to get better, and more people are going to buy it. I just hope that they don't oversaturate the market, because if there's too many options, then it's just like it might overwhelm like people who are trying to get into it and stuff like that, because like they don't know which one to pick and stuff like that. I'm gonna just say right now, just pick the Asus ROG Ally.
This motherfucker.
Bias.
Wow.
much.
Like, wow.
I could be a little bit biased, but I'm just saying,
Little
based off the specs alone, I feel like you're probably gonna get the most bang for your buck with that one. But all the other options are still viable. I mean, I haven't used them, but I've seen reviews, because like before I bought this one, I made sure that this was the one that I wanted to get. I looked up the Legion Go and the Steam Deck, and there was another one, I forgot what it was called. It was like the Neo X something. I don't remember. But
What kind of
Yeah.
ass shit is this?
What was that? I never heard of that one.
yeah, I trust me, I was looking it up. I was doing my research, because I wanted to make sure that this was the one. Because I wanted this one. I wanted the Asus so badly, but I wanted
But
to
it
make
was-
sure that I was right in wanting it. But
The ace of spades. The
So-
ace
so
of
far-
spades.
so far, I think I am right. But yeah, this one, the MSI, it's essentially just as powerful as the Asus ROG Ally. So you're not getting a worse product. The only thing is that it's Intel based, which can be hit or miss. Because I mean, I've had Intel based laptops that have crapped out on me sooner than they should have. So
Don't you have an Intel based PC?
do I? Possibly.
I thought
But-
your CPU was Intel.
well, yeah, but I'm talking about like the mobile CPUs and GPUs and stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay,
They're mobile like laptops.
Yeah.
They're not known for power and stuff like that. So, we'll see how this plays out. But like I said, I don't think this is a bad thing. I think the more companies that make their own portable consoles or portable PCs, which is really what they are, is better. It's better for everybody.
Alright.
And
Fair enough.
it pushes innovation in the space.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll concede. See, gotcha. We have, all right, so the last bit of news we have will be that Xbox has announced their Developer Direct. It's going to be happening on January 18th, of Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And before we get into like what they're going to, said that they're going to discuss, me and brother Matt plan to do a stream to live react to it. We're both going to be off, so it's like perfect. So join us on the stream. That's his hopes that brother Matt is feeling better by this time, because he has COVID right now.
Yes.
So we hope he's better by then, so we can do the stream. If he is, we'll do the stream and live react with us to the officially 4 games that they're gonna showcase. Then the 4 games that they're gonna showcase so far have been Avowed, Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2, Ara, History Untold, and Indiana Jones. Machine Games, Indiana Jones. We finally get to see.
It's gonna be
Indiana
very
Jones.
interesting.
It's be very interesting. I want to see more of this. I hope if Indiana Jones can knock it out the park, and there's nothing holding Xbox back at this point.
I find it. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they have so much coming out this year, and a lot is riding on this to make it the best possible. Because I feel like this will determine if Indiana Jones can do good. It will determine if they could get more licensing for other games and other things. You know, we have already Blade and Indiana Jones. Can we get more? We gotta be successful enough to get more.
And you say Mandalorian?
Oh,
I know there's been rumored.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me. Shit. I'm getting hyped just off the rumors that are not even true or not.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very excited to see Indiana Jones specifically because we've seen Avowed, we've seen Hellblade enough for us to make. I mean, I would like to see more of Avowed because I know that first trailer, or I guess the second trailer, it left a lot to be not desired, but like I wanted to see more of it. I feel like I want to see it more in action before I like cast a judgment on it. And I felt the same way about Hellblade 2. But we saw more gameplay and combat in the last trailer, so I feel like I'm ready for it. If they want to do it, I mean, they're gonna do a deep dive and show more off. I'm here for it. But the main one, I mean, Ara, History Untold, that's more of like a PC thing, that like Age of Empires type.
Yeah, it's a strategy thing, kind of like Civilization.
Yeah, that's not my thing, so I could take it or leave it.
I mean, it's just now. This is not some big showcase. It is a developer direct.
No. You're right.
It's right from the developers where they get to talk about their games for like 10 to 15 minutes each time.
Hey,
and this is really good. This format, they did it last year. I'm super excited that they're bringing it back this year. I just want to see more.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they continue this, and like every year in January we get a developer direct. Yeah. So, I'm mainly interested in Indiana Jones because that's gonna be kind of like you said, it's gonna be the test to see if Xbox can produce a quality like licensed IP on the level of like a Spider-Man or a Wolverine or whatever. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Wolverine yet, aside from
we have them
aside from the leaks. But anyway, so Indiana Jones, but
we talked about this.
It's gonna be interesting too because the template is already there. Like, even though Indiana Jones is a well-known IP that's predates gaming, I think, or modern gaming.
Modern gaming, yes.
Yeah. We've seen basically copycat. I say copycats, but it's like spiritual successors to the Indiana Jones type games. Like, we got the Uncharted games and we got Tomb Raider. Yeah. So like the template is there for how to do this type of game. Now you're getting the OG Indiana Jones. Like, there's no way that they could mess this up. Especially with Machine Games. Machine Games,
exactly.
They know how to make a game. And like, I played the Wolfenstein games. They're amazing.
Fantastic.
Like, yes. I still need to play the third one. I mean,
if anybody has any doubts about Machine Games, load up any of the Wolfenstein games, and it will show you the caliber of developers you're dealing with. Because Wolfenstein games, Machine Games, they are some of the best shooting games out there. Some of the best story-based shooting games out there. You're missing a lot if you don't play the Wolfenstein series. And of course, who doesn't like killing Nazis? Come on now.
Of course, like that's the main selling point.
Exactly. So yeah, like you said, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see more of it.
And there's rumors that there might be a shadow drop, just like there was last year.
Don't
know what that will be.
Yeah, I don't want no spoilers.
I don't. I mean, I don't know.
I think we had enough of rumors for the night.
Yes, yes. The rumor
True.
section has been
Very
crazy.
true.
Today. Yeah, I mean,
But
that's
I'm looking
that's
forward
what we
to it.
yeah, that's what we have for the developer direct. That's what we have for here. I know that there's one more thing you wanted to mention, and it was about Suicide Squad.
Oh yes. All right.
Yeah.
So, recently, Rocksteady, they posted on Twitter. They said that they're releasing or lifting the NDA for the Suicide Squad closed alpha that they had a few months ago. Me, Brother Zay, and Brother Matt participated in such alpha, and we couldn't say anything because we had signed as participating in the NDA. We couldn't talk about it as much as I wanted to, but they lifted the NDA so we can talk about it. Obviously, we can't show footage or whatever, but we can still give our thoughts and reactions to gameplay and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna go first. I'm gonna say that this game is boring. I do not understand what they were going for. Maybe it was like they wanted it to be like a Crackdown type game. They wanted to like a free roam type. Oh, you have a sandbox, you could do whatever, you could shoot enemies and stuff like that. But it's like it felt like they tried to do too much, and it hurt the product, the end product, because of it. Literally, I mean, I said it before, or maybe I didn't say it before. Maybe I said it in like a chat or whatever. But it feels like the Marvel's Avengers all over again. Like they tried to do the co-op, the live service type thing where you can play the story, but there's like microtransactions and there's gonna be seasons and stuff like. But like, honestly, I feel like this is not the genre to try that with. I feel like Rocksteady is taking a step down in terms of their quality and their gameplay, because if you play the Arkham games, the Batman games, they're top notch. Even if, I mean, granted, some people didn't really like Arkham Knight so much, but I think all in all, they're the template for how you do a superhero game. And even Spider-Man borrowed from it in terms of like the combat and stuff like that. So for them to go from those games to this, it feels like a very, very huge step back. And I want to remain optimistic about it because it's still Rocksteady. And I can see how it can be like a fun game to play. But based on what I played, it was not hitting for me. And it just felt very repetitive. It felt like they cut corners a lot. Like, for example, when we played one of the first missions, you were facing the Flash. And literally, I mean, granted, we didn't even get to finish the freaking play test because
You didn't get to finish.
I didn't get to finish because it was so bad. I could not continue. But you go to one area, you shoot a bunch of enemies, then you go to the next area, you shoot a bunch of enemies, then you go to the third area, then a cutscene plays. When the cutscene is over, you shoot a bunch of enemies, then you go to the next, like literally that's all it was. And I was just like, yo, and that was like for 30 minutes. And I was just like, okay, I mean, I'm sure it deviates from this, but if this is the main gameplay loop, then I'm out. I can't do this because like this is not what I wanted from a Rocksteady game. Rocksteady's better than this, and I feel like it was just a cash grab from Warner Brothers because I feel like if they took out the whole live service aspect and they made this a single player game with co-op that you can do it, because I think they probably wanted to do the single player first, and then you can play with friends or whatever. But then maybe they decided to change it up and have it be like focused on co-op, like all live service tend to do. Yeah, it just wasn't working for me. So I know a lot of people online are saying they had fun with it. That's great. It's not for me. And some people were saying like, oh, if you're a DC fan, you might like it. And it's just like, well, first of all, I'm not really a DC fan, so you lost me there. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this game. I don't think it's gonna review well, and I don't think it's gonna sell well, and it sucks because Rocksteady is a great developer, and they deserve better than this.
Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, no, I'll be serious. I love DC. Okay, the comics, even some of the movies. I know some of them are bad, but I still love them. All right, I love DC, and I just did not love this game at all. What we played of it, what I played of it, I continue to play of it. It just wasn't fun. It felt like a chore, which was so sad because like these game makers, Rocksteady, they made some of the best superhero games out there. Between Arkham, Asylum, and City, it's probably the best superhero games still to this day. You expected more from them, and I feel like they were forced to do this because of the whole live service stuff. I don't think this is the type of game that they wanted to put out, but they were just like, let's just go with it. It just wasn't fun. You said a lot of like the gameplay stuff, like you go here, you shoot people, that was it, cutscene. It just didn't feel. It didn't make me feel like how I was playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That game, as a 4-player game, it was single player, but you play with 4 different characters. It was done really well. The story was absolutely amazing. The gameplay was so fun. The banter between the 4 characters, you thought you could get that here. It just felt cringe in Suicide Squad. I just did not enjoy it. I'm definitely not gonna purchase the game. I wish they would have went a different direction, and that's pretty much all I want to say without being too completely harsh. Like, because at the end of the day, the game developers, they're making this game. They're hoping it does well so they can continue to feed their families and whatnot. But there just comes a time where you have to draw the line. Like, listen, I'm just not gonna buy this game. This game, I'm just the consumer. As a consumer, I'm gonna speak with my wallet, and I'm just not gonna buy it. That's it. It's just not. It wasn't fun. And I play games to have fun, to relax, to enjoy myself. Or you can do co-op games. I do live service games all the time. I play Halo, I play Call of Duty and Fortnite. I have Rocket League, all these live service games, and this one just wasn't it for me. And I just, I was really disappointed because I love the whole concept of what they're trying to do, with Brainiac and taking over the Justice League. It's an amazing story, and they could do it right, but they didn't.
I will say the story is probably the strongest element that this game has going for it, because it is still an interesting story. I don't know how they're gonna like pull it off in the end, but I feel like you kind of have to look past a lot of stuff in order for you to find something. Like I said, a lot of people still enjoyed the alpha. I was actually surprised at how many people said they enjoyed it, but
yeah,
that just goes to speak to how normalized this type of gameplay is these days. Like, that's what they want. I'm sure people like the Avengers games too, so it's like, I don't know. It's not for me. I don't think this is gonna be good, and I hope that this doesn't negatively affect Rocksteady, and they can just like move on from this and maybe do, I don't know, something else, because I don't see how this is gonna last much longer. Like, it's not gonna be a long-lasting live service. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
but
that's it. That's what we'll say about that.
That's what we'll say about that. I know Brother Matt, he originally wanted to be on this episode, and I'm sure he had a bunch of words he wanted to say, but pretty much what we said, essentially. I don't think he would have added much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that's gonna do it for us. Like I said before, like this video, please, and subscribe. And anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, don't forget to join us next week on the live stream.
Oh yeah, that is next week. I forget how much freaking stuff
Live
is happening.
streams we do?
Well, not even live streams. Just like I forget the days that I live, man. Like I
Work will
forget
do
what
that
day.
to you.
What day is it?
It is Thursday.
Ah, you said
Ah.
Tuesday. Even you forgot for a second.
I know it was Thursday.
All
I
right,
get home late on
Well-
Thursdays.
we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.
Bye.